my mindset. Ain't no time for no pain. Those and bears, man, they just can't compete.
Nothing else is moving. Okay, so those of you Bitcoin freaks, let's talk about Bitcoin because nothing else is moving because the markets are not open except for Bitcoin. So let's have a look. I'll tell you what I think. First of all, I've got a decent position on this now. We've been adding on all the dips, starting at 59K. We're now at 68K, which is fantastic. I wasn't convinced that this was going to rally, but as it turns out, it did. I was prepared to hedge or cut some of my positions if we drop below 50, but we haven't done that. We've moved up rather than down. And I did put something up on X, which I found interesting. And with your indulgence, I'll show you what this chart looks like on the Renko chart, and also on that other chart I showed you just now. This is the Renko chart for for Bitcoin. What's interesting about this is that this is the longest period of consolidation. This is what you're seeing on the right-hand side of this chart is where we are currently on Bitcoin. Look at that big move up. By the way, there is a method to trade Bitcoin using Renko charts, which I find quite interesting. Not for everyone because you're not seeing the proper price moves, the highs and the lows, and so you won't be able to use massive size and leverage like many Bitcoin traders like to use. But if you want to swing trade this over longer term swings, like weeks and months, it's not a bad instrument or tool to use as a Renko chart. But what this illustrates is that Bitcoin, this consolidation that we're seeing now, is the longest period of consolidation, as far as I can tell, that Bitcoin has ever had, which is interesting for a start. But also, the last time that we did that, we moved down and then moved up. This time, the shape is different. If you have a look at the one on the left-hand side, we have a topping double top castle type formation. It's a very different shape to what we see in the current block. And this current block is exactly the same. I've just copied the previous one. So the purple block on the left is identical to the purple block at the point that we are at the moment. We've now gone out of the purple block. This was the longest consolidation. Now this is the longest consolidation. But this is not the same shape. It's also a sort of a bull flag type shape. And it's also above that area and above this area. So we're trading in a very tight bull flag range above both of these previous highs with a different shape to this previous consolidation. That looks weak and negative, whereas this looks positive and strong, with the last three Renko blocks being bullish. So we've actually turned bullish on this Renko chart. So that was the first thing that I found interesting. And then I had this diagram here, which I also showed you a little bit earlier. And that's this three block rally. 1, 2, 3. Third one will take us to 103. And that's that same flag that you saw on the Renko chart. This is a line chart drawn in with not smooth lines, but integer lines. I don't know what you call them. Staggered lines, and it's not a curve. They're blocky lines. Doesn't really matter. The point is, we've got a bull flag going on this chart as well. This is actually reflecting the chart, the price. It's not a Renko chart. And it's a beautiful, perfect bull flag. If we follow this path and use that flagpole as the flagpole for this flag, we're going to go a lot higher than where I've got this green block drawn, that green arrow. We need to get a length equal to the distance from 25 up to 75. That's $50,000 from the bottom, the flagpole. And then if we take $50,000 from the bottom of this flag, from 54, actually it works out to be almost exactly the same price. So if we take that flagpole and copy and make a duplicate of it, the same height, and stick it onto the end of this after this bull flag from the bottom, it will take us up to $104, which is also the same height as these green blocks, the previous rallies. A little bit higher, actually about 108. But we're talking $100 to $110,000 per Bitcoin. So using that projection based on the flagpole, bull flag, and next part of the process or the technical part of it, in other words, a copy of the flagpole from the bottom of the bull flag, that would take us to 108. If we use this method, the 3 green blocks, we get to 104. So that's kind of pretty good from those charts perspective. And then if we go back to the charts, let's have a look at how that translates to the chart. Go back here. All right, so I didn't show you this. I did show you this fractal. And if I take the fractal from this move from this low up to this last rally, take that big fractal up there and draw that in at least partially up to this halfway house. If you're a golfer, you'll appreciate a halfway house. If we take the move up from here to a halfway house before it carries on, I've drawn that fractal over here. Actually, I've drawn the entire thing up to about there, I think. And let me just change the scale. That also takes us up towards about $100,000. It's about 96. So if we just copy that fractal from there across to there. So that's the way it looks on there. I'm going to get rid of that fractal because it's messy and get this chart scale back to where it was. And this is what it looks like on the day chart. We've got this beautiful line. We tried to spike down there, shook a few hands out there, broke down through that basing low there. This looks quite dramatic on the 4-hour chart and was a little scary. In fact, I did exit one position right at the bottom here. I exited a position here, at 65. It got down there, spiked back within probably under an hour. It was back up here at 65, and I immediately put that position back on again. And that's now formed a 3-touch trend line, and we're holding well above it and moving up. And it's also angled up into that pointy point up there, considering this previous trend line. So we're heading up into this triangle. Looks good so far. And on the 4-hour chart, I mean, who can complain about this? We had the pump from the Bitcoin conference, the 2024 conference, and Donald Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy talking at that conference, being very bullish on Bitcoin. A lot of hype, I agree. A lot of FOMO hype, a lot of, pump the Bitcoin stuff. Obviously, there's a Bitcoin conference. They're not going to say Bitcoin's shit, obviously. Neither Trump nor Ramaswamy. Even if they thought so, they wouldn't say so. But whatever they said was positively absorbed by the market, and we've seen the price holding up, bouncing up, and holding pretty strong. The moving average is curling up. So, yeah, no reason to be fearful on Bitcoin just yet. And remember, Bitcoin can change in a fraction of a second. It's that sort of thing. As one of my acquaintances over at one of the other Bitcoin channels says, Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things. And some of you I know will know who I'm talking about. So there's nothing else we can analyze on these charts because nothing else is moving apart from Bitcoin. And we've talked about natural gas and we've talked about all the other things. I will link the last live stream to the end of this one so you can watch it if you missed that one out. That was on Friday. And then I'll also copy the natural gas part of this video that we did at the beginning, put it into a separate video and put it up so that you can refer back to that a little bit later on if you want to. And also for those who couldn't make the live stream.
To the moon, baby, we will do the moon. All around the world, everybody sing the tune. By now, HODL strong, crypto fever's coming soon. Bitcoin rally, y'all watch us break out of this cocoon. Late nights, early mornings, checking the charts. Got my wallet thick, yo, we playing smart. No sleep, no fear, it's a digital boom. Crypto rules, drool, FOMO rules. Come on, to the moon, baby, we will do the moon. All around the world, everybody sing the tune. By now, HODL strong, crypto fever's coming soon. Bitcoin rally, y'all watch us break out of this cocoon.